Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Isaiah Hill, and today I'm going to be talking about Weekend at Bernie's. Weekend at Bernie's stars Andrew McCartney, Jonathan Silverman, and Terry Kaiser. The film's basic premise is two guys carrying around a dead body. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, this is another childhood film, but I don't know. Like, I kind of have like a mixed review of it now. I mean, as a child, I loved it, but it's kind of mixed. But after I gave it, but that was like a recently. But giving a rewatch now, I do find myself enjoying it. Weekend at Bernie's. Just give you like a plot summary. Richard and Larry, these two, are losers. Like they're not going anywhere in life, basically. But Larry is the laid back, he's the cool guy. He loves just having fun, and he loves just, he's just laid back. Richard is more uptight, and he's like the one who says, oh, yeah, you gotta work hard to accomplish goals. And Larry's like, you're just so naive. Um, Also in the film is Catherine Mary Stewart. Now, I know nothing of Catherine Mary Stewart's movies. I have no idea. But she does play a compelling love interest. Um, but back to the summary. Richard and Larry are, like I said, they're losers and are working at an insurance company. And Richard comes across findings of like a fraud, and they notice that the guy who has died four times in just like a span of like 3 years. I see. And they said like someone screwed up. It wasn't us. And Richard like tries to up Larry's confidence by saying, "Oh yeah, we're doing great. We're gonna succeed." And then they meet Bernie, who is the CEO. They envy Bernie. They make it right off the bat like Bernie has money. Bernie is very successful, and he's very much of a douchebag. Like when you first meet Bernie in his office, he's talking about a Maserati, and he says it needs to be jet black. But all in all, like Bernie congratulates them on like their findings, and he invites them out to his house so they can like go over it. Like it's pretty much like thrown out the window, like as soon as you get later to the film, and we find out Bernie is part of the mob, and he wants these two killed in order to so that he could be safe. But when he leaves the table, the mob boss orders the guy Paulie to kill Bernie because he's like, oh yeah, he's getting careless and he's getting way too greedy, and he's having an affair with his girlfriend. So Bernie is now the target for being careless, being greedy, and having an affair with the mob boss's girlfriend. Pretty good reason there. And Richard has a crush on this girl, Gwen, who is played by Catherine Mary Stewart. It's an awkward, crush. Like, it's almost like a high school crush. Like, where he can't talk to her because he's, mesmerized by her beauty. He can't do anything. And then he comes out, saying, his aunt is sick. And even Larry's like, you messed up. But he gets a date with her when he gets enough confidence, but he's trying to prove that he's all manly, like he's a good guy, but he comes off as being kind of a jerk because he lies about it. But then when you get to later, where they're on the island, Barney is Bernie thinks that everything's fine, everything's going to go as planned. The guys are going to show up. We're going to be doing these things. And the whole reason why Bernie's going there is so he can meet them up there and have them killed. And Bernie and Paulie talk about the mission. And Bernie kind of knows that something's a little weird because Paulie's there early. then you get like where Richard and Larry are going to catch a where they're going to catch a ferry, and they jump onto the ferry like as it's going to dock. It's stupid, but it is kind of funny. And then you get like this epic ferry party, and it is pretty interesting. And then we cut to like Bernie typing up like the fake letter in order to like pin it on Richard and Larry. But then Paulie shows up and he injects Barney like with a, I don't even know what it is. Like even as a kid that bugged me. Like what does he inject in Bernie that kills him like that? Like Bernie's last words are ow. Oh. What did he inject in him? And by the way, this film's like PG-13. Yeah, what's the PG-13 for? No reason. It's actually like language, and dead like body, like seeing like all the humor. It's like all that stuff. And Larry and Richard show up. They start loving the place. Like, oh yeah, it's beautiful. But then, like, they find Bernie. And I'm not gonna lie, it's funny, like, what they're doing, like, and, like, they're messing, like, around with him. And Richard's like, I know what he's doing. He's meditating. Larry's like, no, he's not. He's, like, dead. We need to get him up. And how they are carrying him. Let's say if he was just asleep, like, as they were assuming. Why would you carry someone like that? Like, the way how they're carrying him was, like, insane. So they find out that Bernie's dead. Yep. He's dead for the rest of the movie. Sorry. But Terry Kaiser, I'm not gonna lie, plays an amazing role, like, here. Like, even though, like, he plays a dead body, but he does, like, a mime. Like, he's like a mime throughout the rest of this. And people are like, and, like, Roger Ebert and, like, Siskel and Ebert, like, how they were saying, like, oh, yeah, we kept an eye out for, like, the blinking, twitching of fingers, like, all these things. And I'm like, that ruined, you know, when I watched, I was like, oh, that ruins the gag. I mean, if you're just looking for things to make fun of a movie with, then you might as well just go watch something else. Because comedies are easy to attack. Because people can say, oh, it's not funny, or it's this, it's not my humor. Weekend at Bernie's is a black comedy. Because, like, and it doesn't take place in reality, because it makes fun of, like, the fact, like, it pokes fun at, like, the fact that this guy is dead, and, like, these two guys are just, like, carrying him around. Speaking of which, where did Weekend at Bernie's land? Oh, landed, way back there. But back to the plot. Bernie is known to have these parties. He has a party, and it looks great. And these people don't even acknowledge the fact that he's dead. Richard and Larry are like, huh? Now, if you come in contact with a corpse, you supposedly evacuate all your bowels. Like, you poop yourself, you wet yourself, you start to go pale, you start having a bad odor, like, not just from urine and crapping yourself, but like, you'll just start, like, not even smelling like that pleasant. So here, like, these party guests are, like, so stupid. They are stupid. Like, one guy walks in, he's drunk. The other party guests are, like, saying hi to Bernie. There's this guy who's even trying to talk to him about selling a Porsche. And, of course, there's spoilers, but what do you expect? I'm talking about a film, like, where they're carrying around a dead guy. So Richard's like, we have to call the police. We have to call the police. And as he's trying to, Larry notices how no one really seems to care. And Larry's tells Richard, why don't we just pretend he didn't die for a bit? And Richard's like, I can't believe I'm hearing this. And Gwen shows up. Of all the places they can have a love interest show up, after you had an awkward run-in with her again, she's at Bernie's. I mean, yeah, they kind of say, oh yeah, that she has a house, like, with her family, like, over there. So, granted, I guess that works. But this is written by Robert Klein. He co-wrote European Vacation. Well, supposedly written it, but really he wrote the whole movie. And they threw John Hughes' name on it. But that's for another day. But this film in particular, it's a lot of people are like, oh yeah, the writing is super lazy. It's not the writing or direction. Ted Kotcheff does a good job. He's the director of First Blood. And then two leads are not that bad, and Terry Kaiser does a really good job. I feel like it's the atmosphere. Like, it has this very uppity party atmosphere that many people just don't like, because they're like, oh yeah, well, usually when dark comedies, there's like, oh, well, it's meant to be like dark, funny. I find a lot of jokes in Weekend at Bernie's funny. I find it to be quite humorous at times. I enjoy it. I mean, I understand where people do not like it. By all means, I understand that. I've seen people, like, destroy this film, and I, like, try and talk to them about it, and they're like, oh, we don't like Weekend at Bernie's. This is, like, one of the worst films ever made. And I respect that, because I can understand it. Weekend at Bernie's plot, people are like, oh yeah, it just gets dull, more dull, than just so dull, like, where it's not watchable. To me, as a kid, like, I enjoyed it, and I think it was because I just liked the fact that I found it funny, but I didn't find the dead body part funny. I found, like, most of the scenes, like, that didn't involve, like a corpse in a way. It was kind of funny to me, but I enjoyed it, and I still enjoy it to this day. This film, I feel like they were trying their best to be funny, but it just didn't appeal to everyone. But then again, no film's going to just appeal to everyone, because, I mean, I met someone they said the worst film they ever seen was The Godfather. That's their opinion. Some people have never even seen Star Wars. Weekend at Bernie's, as the plot continues, like, I'm going to skip over the night, because, like, the mob boss's girlfriend comes over and, like, starts getting angry. After, like, Gwen and Richard, like, share, like, a romantic night, Barney's, like, swept in by the tide. Like, it's not in any order, like, there. But then there's a necrophilia joke. Then you get, like, basically pointless scenes. Like, the whole scene, like, where Bernie's playing, like, Monopoly, if you were to actually get rid of that, and you were to cut to literally the next day, like, where Richard and Larry are like, answering the phone, and the only thing that makes that kind of ties it together is Paulie, who goes back to, like, finish the job. Then I know you could finish off a corpse. But as the film progresses, you see, like, them, like, try and find ways to get off the island, because they were here to message, and they're like, oh yeah, if people think Bernie's alive, that no one's going to hurt us, because that's what they assume. They find the money that Bernie hidden, and they find out all these things, and it just gets weirder. Like, like, what I'm gonna skip over, like, the, like, knocking out scene, because here's the reason why. The knocking out scene is basically somewhat filler, in my opinion. They go back to Bernie's house, go get keys to his boat, then they go knock out two guys who were, like, workers for Bernie. Well, one guy was actually fired, the other one was a worker. And they take Bernie's boat, and they cause mayhem on the water. It is funny. I'm not gonna lie, I do laugh when I watch it. But then, like, as the film keeps going and going, like, Barney, like, falls off the back of the boat, and he's now just, like, skidding, like, along, and he hits, like, channel markers. It's pretty funny, but then, like, you get to the ending, like, Gwen finds out Barney's been dead the entire time. Then they find out, like, Paulie has come back, and now he wants to kill off all three of them because no witnesses. And it ends, like, with Larry tying up Paulie like a bull. Then the film ends with one last joke of Barney rolling out into the sand. And they find out they take off running, screaming. Then a kid comes over and buries him from earlier. This film, I don't know, like, okay, it's not amazing. It's not amazing. This is probably the first film where I didn't give a movie an amazing on my channel. But this film, because it's not horrible. I love watching it. It's not bad because I was like, oh yeah, there's one thing holding it. And it's not good because if it were good, then I would feel like, oh yeah, there should have been more. I give it personally a great. Now, you may disagree with that, but the reason why I give it a great is because of, like, my childhood. Like, I grew up watching it, and I do go back and I do enjoy it. The acting is pretty good for, like, what they have to do. The leads try to make it funny. Terry Kaiser does a pretty good job as a dead body. But that's pretty much it. I mean, if it were good, I said there should have been more, like, comedy, like that, more comedy like that involved, like, more physical, because it would have been a little bit more funny. But if you were to, like, but great, that's where I said, for me personally, there could have been more like physical comedy, or even like word comedy, because, like, some films actually do better like that. Weekend at Bernie's stars, I know I did this at the end, but this is why I'm doing it. Weekend at Bernie's stars Andrew McCartney and Jonathan Silverman. I know I did in the beginning, but these are, like, the only two films. This is, like, one of the only three films I know of Andrew McCartney. Well, really of both. Really of both leads. I know them from Weekend at Bernie's 2, and I know Andrew McCartney from Pretty in Pink. Oh, and St. Elmo's Fire. 4. I forgot about St. Elmo's Fire. But Jonathan Silverman, he's 3. Weekend at Bernie's 2, and Caddyshack 2. That's literally all I know him from. Catherine Mary Stewart, I know nothing of. Terry Kaiser, I know nothing of. So, for a film like where I hardly see these people, they didn't do that bad of a job. In my opinion, they did a better job than some of the films that we get today at times. Or, like, some of the comedies that, like, oh yeah, we're trying to be cutting edge, we're trying to be funny. But here there are scenes that do make me laugh. I give this film personally a grade. Now, that's just my opinion. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. The thing is, with Weekend at Bernie's, if, like, a child watch it, like, let's say, like, a 7-year-old, he will probably think that this film's amazing. He or she will. I give this film a great. If I was a child, I would give this film an amazing. This film did well at box office, but it did well on home video. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you wish to see more movie reviews and Let's Plays, subscribe. And if you have anything, if you want to ask me anything, you want to request anything, well, actually, what I want to know is, what do you think of Weekend at Bernie's if you've seen it? Because if you're new, I have a rating scale called amazing, great, good, bad, and horrible. I believe I go over this in the Back to the Future video. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and I'm glad you guys took the time out of your day to watch. My name is Isaiah Hill, signing off.